Hey there. Come see me do comedy. January 5th, Arcade Comedy Theater, 9 p.m. I'll also be in Akron, Ohio, January 6th. You can check that stuff out at nadenolf.com. Follow me on Instagram at NolfComedy. You can see all that stuff there. And I appreciate that. Subscribe to the show if you haven't. And this is episode 45. Welcome. Of Usually Wrong. I'm happy you're here. I'm excited. This is with Ron Renwick, who's a very funny comedian. He's been doing comedy in Pittsburgh for 9 years, I think he said. A long time. And he's great. This was a great conversation. This is the chillest podcast I've done in a while. Just really fun. Really fun to talk to Ron. Hosts an open mic Wednesday nights in Mount Washington at Scarpaci's bar, one of the most crowd-heavy open mics in the area. So if you're looking to get really good at stand-up, this is a great place to, bust your chops. I think that's the term people use for getting better at something. All right. Enjoy the show. Enjoy Usually Wrong, episode number 45 with Ron Renwick.
When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that and forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You will be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, that's the way I used to do mine. Is I had a mixer and just plugged in the MacBook. I don't know. It's just too much fucking time-consuming stuff, and then you gotta contact people. Hey,
yeah, that's part of it.
But at least you have a separate place other than your house to do it. Because
Right.
I was doing it straight from my kid's playroom.
I feel like let's go and get started too, because I want to talk about that. I've recently had people say to me, and if you don't mind holding the mic right here,
Is it even worse than that?
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Good. I think I'm gonna move them to my apartment because there's something we just talked about the space. Like coming in here, John Dick Winters said it to me kind of flippantly when we were after the fact. It's a weird space to come into because sometimes I even record during the day and I'm still in work clothes and then
here.
Yeah, here
clients are coming in.
I've had people walk out the door when clients were coming in, people I haven't brought on as clients. But it's weird. It's like a weird space to record. I feel like recording at home, we can drink, we can smoke, we can do whatever, and it's it disarms you a little bit, and then you're able to just talk to somebody regularly.
I feel I feel like this is more professional because when you come in here, oh, it's kind of like a studio.
That's true.
I mean, and for me, I guess it would all depend. I don't drink or smoke or anything, so it doesn't matter
That's
to
true.
me either way.
I did the We Got Next Guys podcast, and it's like a studio space. It's a big, nice studio space. This just feels like it's in the middle of professional studio, creepy office.
Yeah.
Totally relaxed.
Oh, you're totally in the back of somebody's fucking workroom.
That's right. We're in a conference room that bolts off my office. How long have you been doing stand-up?
It will be 10 years in July.
10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
God damn, dude.
I know,
That's
right?
great. How did you get started? This is not an interview, by the way. I always want to say that because that's such a boring ass comedy question.
Interview, though,
but I understand. But I'm curious. How did you get started? What was even available in Pittsburgh to do?
There was a lot.
Was there?
Yeah. I started out with. I remember I was working downtown and I was going through the city paper and I was like, oh look, open mic night. I was like, all right, I would rather do that than do stand up. So
you a comedy open mic night?
Yeah, because the city paper advertised even 10 years ago.
Did they?
The open mic nights.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't. The first thing I did was just go watch for a while, and then I was like, all right, I could do this, and I fucking signed up for Gilda's Great Comedy Search, and I ate the biggest dick. Oh, it was the worst. It was down at the Improv, and Dom, I always fucking tell the story. Dom, the sound guy, he played fucking crickets. It was
Oh my-
terrible.
He played the crickets.
Yeah,
You
it
didn't
was-
play 2 crickets. He played
yeah, like
cricket.
it was that bad. It
Oh
was
my God.
fucking terrible. But
Oh
I got
my
one
God.
laugh, and then I was like, oh well, this is like golf. You get like one good shot, and then you fucking you come back.
Are you a sports guy? Like, do you like sports analogies like that?
Not anymore.
No.
I used to spend a lot of time with sports, but then like I don't know. I was 26 years old, and I was still had this like dream that I was gonna play basketball professionally.
We're not playing basketball.
And then after that dream died, I was like, all right, well, I'm not spending time on sports because I just don't understand the whole philosophy of being like a 30-year-old man and wearing a kid's jersey or hanging up their accomplishments in your basement. I'm not really into that.
I'm on board with that. I would say it's weird. I even think of like a clock in a game. Like the whole reason that all of these people are so just what am I trying to say? So aggressively passionate about 30 or 50 22-year-old guys.
Yeah,
Like
it's kind of
that-
gross.
It is kind of weird. And people who like whenever somebody's coming into college, like going to start playing, like people will track like, hey, who's a good high school player that's
Oh my
gonna
god!
make
Yeah,
it?
they
Isn't
go
that
way
crazy?
too far deep. Like that's when I quit. Like even listening to like Steelers shit because it was like I don't know June, and I was listening to like a scouting report or something. They were talking about like third string people. I was like, what the fuck am
Yeah.
I doing? This is such a waste of my time.
That's kind of what it is, though. I feel that a lot with sports, but I'll call myself my own bullshit. Like I'll still get aggressively into a Steelers game. I'll get passionate about it for a team that I don't even follow. I really couldn't tell you a lot of positions in football, but there's something about watching. I don't even know what it is. There's something about watching that game on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe it's calming because of the day that it's in, how I've always felt watching the game, and maybe that will translate into my real adult life. I don't know.
It's just a communal kind of a thing, though, because then
Yeah.
everybody that they're always watching it or they're talking about it, and then you get involved and you're like, yeah, well, what about this guy from the other team? Well, fuck that guy.
Yeah, and that's it too. Isn't it weird that people are aggressive? People who are just fans of a team will get aggressive at other players from other teams just because they're not wearing the same color and they're not from the same city.
It's what is it? It's kind of like I don't know. It's just some competitive thing that I don't know. I guess we're missing it in society because we don't have war anymore.
True.
So we
that's a
kind of
good point.
So we kind of pick up on these other things, and they're like, "Oh, these are our gladiators, so we're gonna kill your gladiators." And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
And that's interesting too. Like hockey is weird to me that fights are still allowed, and even in UFC.
Yeah, because if you were
stuff.
out in the middle of the street and you were fighting, the cops would come and give you fines.
right.
But if you're a hockey player, they're like, "Oh, they're just playing hockey."
Oh, they're just they're joshing around. Yeah, that's it. Excuse me. It's like people complain about football becoming less violent, and it's people are still kind of searching for that gladiator thing, like people ripping each other to shreds. Like
Oh, yeah.
that was entertainment. What, 2,000 years ago?
It's still
We're still
it would
kinda
still
searching
be
for
it
that.
would still be such great entertainment. I would watch some dude get mauled by a lion. I mean, if it was
I would too.
everybody, as long as
100%.
it was socially acceptable, everybody'd be like, "Oh,
Absolutely.
did you see Terry? He got fucking his arms ripped off last night."
Absolutely. We buy pay-per-view packages for people to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Do you follow any of that stuff at all?
No,
No.
I don't have a life anymore. I have too many kids. I work and then I come home. I spend like 2 or 3 hours with my kids, and then I'm back out the door again, so I can try to get out and do stand up at 5 time.
Yeah. How is juggling kids with stand-up?
I mean, they're really heavy. It's hard to throw 3
Well,
of them
that'd
in
be
the
tough.
air.
Well, that has to be a good act, though.
I don't know. It's a lot easier than I thought it would be. I mean, I have a lot of help, especially like with my older daughter because she's 15. Yeah, she's 15 now, so she can help out. Like if my fiance has to go work or something like that at night because she's in between jobs because of kids.
Yeah.
And then the mortgage, whatever. That's not.
So
fucking
you
that
had,
interesting.
but here's why I ask, because I bring it up on the show all the time. Like I'm very fearful of having kids because it makes me feel. Jason Clark and Marcus Cox really took me to school on this idea because I say it all the time. Like I'm worried that me having kids is going to prevent me from actually doing shit. But you had kids before you started doing stand up.
Yep.
That's an interesting
Well,
thing
I had
to
one before I started doing stand-up, and
Okay.
then 3 years ago, I had the second one.
Right.
And then 2 years ago, or no, shit, it's been almost 4 years since the second one. And then 2 years ago, I had my son. So I've just been kind of collecting them as I've been going along in my stand-up career.
What kind of changes in your mindset having a kid? A lot of people who listen to this podcast, I imagine, have kids, so they probably already know the answer. But how much do you change as a person when you have a kid?
I mean, a little bit. I've read something the other day, something about, it's like the super girl theory or something like that when a dad has a daughter.
Supergirl.
I forget. I don't know. It's something like relatively new, but like when a dad has a daughter, he becomes like less sexist and treats women better.
I have to imagine that's true.
And I think once I had my first daughter, I was like, oh my God, I'm a total piece of garbage. I should have not have treated women as poorly as I did growing up. I don't know. I was a fucking kid, whatever.
It changes your perspective. It changed because now you have
Now I got to worry
reliant on
about
you.
dudes saying awful shit to my daughters and stuff. I think, like with all the Me Too movement and everything, I think it's gonna get better for
Right.
women. But I mean, there's still always gonna be that masculine thing where just fucking gross guys are gonna be out the bar like, hey,
Yeah.
you look awesome in my bed.
Yeah.
Just
awful
gross. Yeah,
pieces
'cause
of shit. Yeah.
you still see it almost every night you go out. Just like watching
absolutely.
guys gawking women, or they start talking about them like just very grossly.
Yeah, men will always have egos, but how do you tame it to where you are a rational, distinguished? Maybe that's not the right word. I'm gonna use the word distinguished human being. How does that actually happen? I have no idea.
No,
I'm 25.
Is that how old you are? I was going to
I'm
ask
25.
you how old you are. You don't have kids yet. What
I
are you
don't
gonna
have
do?
kids yet.
Don't try. Wait till you're
I'm not
40,
trying.
45.
But it's something that I talk about frequently. So like seeing people like you who are doing stand up, running an open mic, doing things like that, it helps me position myself for 10 years later when I
Well,
do
what, are you
want
gonna
to
just
kids.
never have kids because like, oh, I got this stand-up thing to do?
No. But I've been fearful that if I do have kids early, or if I haven't, like, this is honest and egotistical, right? But if I don't do the things that I want to do in stand up and I have kids, I'm good. There's going to be resentment towards that kid because dad didn't do the shit that he wanted to. And then I'm going to be one of those dads
Right.
who's
But the
really
things-
aggressive at high school football games.
The things that you don't accomplish in life have nothing to do with anyone else. It's all about you. It's if you want to be a stand-up comedian, you'll find time.
Right.
If you want to go out and make $1 million and have 8 kids, you'll find the time, or you won't, and then you'll blame it on somebody else except for yourself. That's what I find with most people.
You'll blame it on somebody else.
Like you're saying, you'll resent
Yes.
your kids because, oh, if it wasn't for you, I'd be a stand. No, it's because of you that you aren't
Right.
a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
You can't blame it on other people. Like, I hate the victim route. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I was just thinking about this morning. I'm trying to blame more stuff on myself because I really do think that's how people become happier. If you take the accountability
Yeah,
of
take
hey,
responsibility
shit is my
for yourself.
fault.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like when I quit smoking cigarettes, like if you have something in your life and you can, that's like bad or a vice, and you can quit it because you know it's bad or a vice and you can control that, then you see like more control in your life, or
Right.
you can realize that you can control more of your life.
Right.
Because like when I smoked cigarettes, I was like, oh, I identify with this and I can't quit because I'm addicted, and then I quit and I was like, oh, well, fuck, I can do all kinds of stuff that
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I could. I didn't think that I was ever going to quit smoking, and then I did, and I was like, oh, well, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah. Not only is this one choice that I made, I can make a million other choices.
Yeah,
You know,
that could
like,
better your life.
there it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I just feel like happiness comes from, not for everybody, but I think a lot of my happiness comes from I made the choice X, Y, and Z happen, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Getting up and starting a podcast or starting to do stand-up, that was a choice that I made. I'm happier for it. If I continued to be like, oh, I could never get on stage, I could never do this and that,
Right.
I don't think I'd be as happy of a person.
I don't know. If you're just gonna sit around and blame everybody else for your problems, then yeah, you're just gonna be a sad person.
Do you think that's a problem now? Like, do you think? I think people do that a lot. I think that is.
It's
human
easier to
nature.
blame. Yeah, but it's easier to blame other people for your ill falling. What the hell's the word I'm looking for? But you know what I mean.
Yes.
For the bad things that happen to you, and then until some people grow up and realize that they're their own problem, then they're just gonna keep the same repeating shitty patterns.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. So you start comedy 9 years ago. Was there a time lag between your first open mic and then the next one?
Yeah, there was probably like, after I had to recover from that one, Jesus. Probably a couple months. And even my first year, it would be almost a month or 2 or 3 months even between open mics and stuff like that.
Was it, I need to prepare new material? Because that's like a mindset for a lot of new
sometimes
comics.
that and just being scared, and just, I don't know, thinking that you only need to go out once a month or so to make it happen.
Right.
And that is complete bullshit. I remember Kleiber, I forget the hell he said on a podcast or something, I heard him on. He's like, if you're going to do stand up and do it professionally, you got to be out at least twice a week, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, a week? Holy shit, I don't have that kind of time. And then, you know, you start seeing other people progress, and you're like, God damn it, I got to get the
Isn't
fuck
that
out there.
fun? Yeah, you see people. I started around the same time as the We Got Next guys, and like
Right.
Daniel Frere and Kaylee Dumas, if you know. I mean, there was, now it's funny, but like if I see the We Got Next guys doing stuff and I'm not doing anything, it's like, why am I being a piece of shit? It goes back to accountability and actually making choices. If I see other people doing things, and there's always, I think you have to have some sort of ego in you as a stand-up. Like if this person is doing this, oh fuck, I could be doing that.
Well, you know, and the thing is, you shouldn't, like, I used to get mad at people for getting on shows, like, oh, why is he on something and I'm not on that, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I still do, but, like,
You can't do that, but I understand that.
but you need to use it more as, like, fuel to keep yourself pushing.
Yes.
And then instead of being like, oh, well, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, because then you end up putting yourself in a corner and be like, oh, that's the guy that hates everybody because everybody else is on shows and he never is, because the only thing he's worried about is hating on everybody as opposed to writing jokes or getting better.
Yeah, and that's another blaming your problems on somebody else, and that's worse because it's somebody else's good fortune. It's somebody who
Somebody's
worked
working,
hard,
yeah.
right? Somebody who's hauling ass, and you're not.
I don't know. Stand-up, you don't really need to work too intrinsically hard. I know a lot of people that, I don't know, man, you don't... Just write the shit down that you say is funny in conversations, then repeat it on stage in some manner that, you know, I don't know. It's just, if you're going to sit down and write jokes all day, I think you're going about it the wrong way, because I feel like all that forced writing shit just doesn't work for most people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to find, you know, how you make people laugh in everyday life and then bring that to the stage.
I agree with that. Or do you feel like you're doing that on stage? Like, do you feel like you are really Ron Renwick on stage?
Yeah, there isn't much difference between being on stage and just running around regular life. Like, I don't have a stage persona per se, because when I go up, it's just me.
Yeah, but do you think you ever did? Because I still feel like I'm playing an exaggerated version of myself, and I think, for me, I think I have to.
I'm a lot happier on stage. I'll smile a lot more. But yeah, so I mean, there is a little bit. I mean, you have to be a little showy, because if you're just up there being like, "Hey, this is Nate Nolf,"
Right?
That's so fucking boring. You got, you know, and then it's like being a musician. It doesn't matter if there's one person in the audience or 1,000. You know, you should be singing at, you know, your top level all the time. Otherwise, you look like an idiot.
Right. Yeah.
You're
You're
like,
not
oh, he's
performing.
kind of half singing that song. Well, that's boring.
Yeah, but isn't it fun too? Like, I still feel like I'm doing a performance in front of specific people. I brought this up 48 episodes in a row. I feel like there is part of me that's doing well, on stage definitely, but even in like a social scene in Hambones, I'm still kind of not myself. If I was really Nate Nolf with you, the Nate Nolf that's in front of my friends drinking and being goofy, it'd be a different person. I'm really trying to do that on stage now. Like before I go on stage, I'm like, I just want to be goofy. I just want to be a silly boy.
Just be funny. That's all you need to worry about.
That's it.
That's all it is. I mean, if you're up doing stand-up and you're being anything other than that, what are you doing? I don't know. And like it takes a while to get your legs, so to speak. But I mean, after a while, you got to either be funny or get the fuck off the stage and quit wasting everybody else's time.
Right.
Or just keep powering away. I don't know. Because like I still get shit for not being funny. I don't care. Whatever. I will do stand-up
People
till
give you shit.
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like I will always do stand-up just because I just like it. And like people are always like, what? Don't you want to like quit your job and do it? Yeah, but you know what? The odds of that happening are slim to none. And the thing is, most comics that you know that are just stand-up probably make under $30,000, and fuck that. I can't feed my family with $25,000 a year.
Yeah, you have other obligations that you have to
so
worry
I have
about.
to work like a real job and then do this on the side, and I'm fine with that. If that's the way it has to be forever, then so what? I don't care.
That's fine.
I'm still having fun, and I can't just like, because I have so many kids, I can't just pick up and be like, I'm gonna go here for the weekend just because, you know, whatever. But I have kids at home. My fiance works on the weekends, and it's kind of rough. Like if I were you, I would be fucking running all over the place because I don't have kids.
I kind of am. You're my first podcast at a 9 today.
Really?
Oh
my God, you have nothing to do today.
I did 3 yesterday, and then I'm doing 1 more tomorrow.
Well, that's good though. I mean, like, cause see, that was part of my problem when I did podcasts. I would just do 1 a week, and if I didn't do that 1, then I would have to skip, or I would just have to do it by myself. You got to have them in the hole, in the can, or whatever the hell they call it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, because I do 2 of these a week. So now I need to stock episodes.
Are you putting out 2 a week?
Pretty much, yeah. There are definitely some weeks that I'm just taking off, but does that help consistency? Clearly not. But I'm trying to be. I really enjoy doing this, and I think it's like comedy adjacent, and that's what I'm just trying to do more things that help me as a stand-up. Me talking to you helps me as a stand-up, because when you're on stage, you have to be having a dialogue with people, and if I can get good at just talking to people in regular life, that is a part that helps me on stage.
Yeah, but you got to be really good at having a one-way conversation. That's all.
Right.
I still have problems with that, because I honestly, sometimes I like when people talk back, because then I was like, oh, here we go, 3 more minutes. All right.
Okay, that's interesting too, because I'm not very good at crowd work. You run an open mic that helps you with crowd work.
Yeah, Scarpaci's comedy open mic, 9:30 on Wednesdays.
I'll plug it at the beginning too.
It's it's gotten better, because when I first started, I was so dog shit awful, and people rarely showed up. Like I remember the first couple I ran, only 2 or 3 comics came, but the bar was packed, and then it started picking up slowly and steady, and then 5 years later they built a stage for me. They put up some lights in there now.
I saw they had
lights in there. It looks professional.
I haven't been to your mic in probably 6 months, but I did see it on Facebook.
That's all right. I get, you know what, man? I get like 15 to 20 people, and that's more than enough.
That's fucking great.
Dude, that's way more than enough.
But I think from me going to your mic, and from just the general, just general feel of it in the scene, it's essential. I'm not that good with crowd work. I'm not that good at improv yet as well. Your mic, in my experience, helps people with that, because if you have people, you have to analyze the room. You have to analyze the people who are there, and then make comedy out of that. If somebody heckles me at Arcade, for instance, or at Hammond, I get thrown off very easily. But your mic, it's essential to be in that headspace. And I think it's essential as a comic.
Well, I think, I don't know. Here's the thing with Scarpaci's is, if you're just not being funny, they'll let you know, because they'll just start turning and talking to each other. They don't give a fuck.
But it's so that's.
So you got to learn how, I don't know, because like this is the way I've learned to do stand up. There is, you got to talk to them a little bit, and then like work in a joke, and then maybe you can get a good run with a few jokes, but then once they start tuning you out, then you got to go back into crowd work.
Right.
because otherwise, and it's not usually that bad anymore. It hasn't been that bad recently, just because when I first started, it was just all the regulars and things like that, and then a lot of guys would come and be like, "Oh, there's something going on Wednesday." They'd just come and fucking talk all goddamn night, and then that kind of has gone away.
Do they play Pens games there too?
Yeah, but nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
No. And if they, I don't know, if they want to watch the Pens game, they can go sit in the back.
It's in the back.
Yeah, so it's whatever. I mean, it's slightly an ambush, Mike, but not really, because it's been there for 5 years. So if you come in there on a Wednesday and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Well, guess what, dumbass? We've been here.
We've been here a while.
Yeah. They built me a stage. They're not going to build you a bar stool to come in here and fucking talk to your friends.
One of the first gigs I got, I started about 2 years ago. One of the first gigs I got was during the Pens, I think first or second round run to the cup, and nobody was paying attention. Guy heckled me, and then he came up. He meant to apologize, but then he put his hands on my shoulders, and then a little bit puked on my shoes. Like, not a lot. Like, it wasn't like overwhelming, but it was like he drooled enough that it was puke on my shoes.
That's funny.
It was gross.
See, I will postpone for Pens playoffs just because the playoffs, they're pretty hyped around here. But other than that, I mean, even early round playoffs, I don't give a fuck. I'll still run it. I don't give a shit.
We're in a sports town, too.
It's so annoying. Yeah, like when Andy Piccaro moved to LA, and like there'd be like a Monday night Steelers game. I'd be like, this sucks. You know, nobody's going to be out for the comedy because of the Steelers game. He's like,
right.
That's not the case here. No. Sucker.
Nobody gives a shit. From my interpretation and experience, it doesn't seem like anybody in LA really gives a shit about their sports teams.
Not until they hit the playoffs, I bet.
Right. I bet that's it.
And there's just so many people. There's so much more shit to do.
Right.
It's not like Pittsburgh where it's like, oh, we got a football team and a hockey team. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And no other teams.
And nothing else to do.
Do you think an NBA team would do well here?
I think so. I think they would do
too.
really well. I can't believe it that somebody hasn't tried to move one in here.
I agree.
I think there would be, because they used to have the Pipers.
What?
Yeah, a long
I didn't
time
know
ago,
that.
the Pittsburgh Pipers.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You can Google that shit.
I will.
I actually, because I didn't realize that they had one a long time ago, but I was down at the strip district where they sell those stupid shirts, and I was like, it's like Pittsburgh Pipers. I was like, is this a knockoff shirt? What the hell is this? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh no shit, there was like a real, I don't know, maybe it was like ABA or something like that. I didn't really go too in depth, but I was like, oh, there was a basketball team here at one point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There was one of the funniest things that one of the funniest skits on Nick Kroll's show on Comedy Central, like that sketch show. They did a bit. It was like Pennsylvania, and it was competing pawn stores between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And they were in Pittsburgh, and I forget what the context was, but he's like, I'll bet you, like some guys from Philly were coming into the Pittsburgh pawn shop, and they're like, I'll bet you the next person that walks in here is going to be wearing a Discount Penguins jersey. They're like, that's not true. And then Nick Kroll comes walking in with a shirt that says Go Pengs. I lost my goddamn mind. I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
See, this is what I always wondered is like, is that just a Pittsburgh thing, or is that an every city thing where they have all that knockoff shit? Because like we have the strip district where, Christ, you walk up the whole strip and everybody's
It's a whole knockoff district.
T-shirts.
It should be called Discount District. That's what it should be called. I think Green Bay is the same way. I've thought Green Bay is very similar to Pittsburgh, and like Green Bay doesn't have anything else. They have the Packers.
Right.
And I think they're similar. And I think any really Midwestern town has to be like that, right? Like Minnesota. What the hell does Minnesota have? Exactly.
Cold weather.
Exactly. No one's going to root for cold weather.
I don't know. There are people that live in Canada, so I'm pretty sure there's somebody rooting for cold weather.
That's true.
Fuck that.
Did you ever play that Plague game? Do you have it's like a...
I don't play games.
Oh, you got to play this
know,
game.
so
It's like
boring.
$1. It's a game...
Oh my God. No. My kids have to eat. It's not happening.
It's a game where it's on your phone, and you have to kill the entire world, like by starting this disease, and then it spreads everywhere, and you have to like make like...
Nope. Never played it.
Very fun, but it's taught me that you always, like, if shit hits the fan, buy a helicopter and live in Greenland. because
Yeah,
it's like
it's not gonna
disconnected
matter.
from everything.
It's not gonna matter. It's like, dude, it's like billionaires like collecting all this shit and putting it in a cave. If shit hits the fan and it hits the fan like right away, do you think that you're gonna be able to make it to that cave? Do you think that your bodyguard's gonna be like, yeah, Mr. Gates, I'm gonna get you to your cave first and then go to my family? No, Bill, you're on your own because I'm going to go see my family if they're still alive.
Okay, I think, all right, well, let's stay on that for a second, because I think the bodyguards would have a deal in place that they are also saved. So they would take, and their families. So,
But then they still have to go get their family.
but you know the shit's coming from a
Bill
mile
has
away,
to go
right?
get his family.
If there was like, if shit was going down, we would have maybe 3 hours of notice. That's like enough time. Well, I'm not taking into consideration traffic.
Yeah, because you got to think if Bill's in a car or a limo or wherever the hell, and shit's starting to go down, and then everybody finds out, everybody's gonna get in their car and they're gonna go try to get somewhere, and then next thing you know, everybody's on the road and it's all backed up, and then the guy's just gonna be like, all right, well, I guess we walk from here, and Bill's gonna be like, you're gonna carry me, right? And this is just not the way it's gonna work out. So I don't know. God. I would like to say that maybe there would be enough time because, if it was like the Walking Dead situation or something like that, that shit would be on the news, right?
I feel like that.
And then
exactly.
people would be able to be like, get away. Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. Because what, somebody gets bit in LA, it's still going to take like a couple weeks for it to go crazy everywhere, right?
Exactly. And we live in a city right now that I don't think, excuse me, I've thought about this stuff. Like if Pittsburgh is not the city terrorists are going to, right? Like, I just don't believe that.
No, they fly in here and then they leave here
And they
to
go somewhere else.
to wherever they're going to try
Right.
to hurt people.
Like that is it, right? I'll be honest with you. I don't care. Like I'm fortunate to live in this city because of that. I've also looked up recently, like if a bomb hit downtown Pittsburgh, what would that do? Like, who would feel that? Like, pretty much everywhere in 20 miles would feel it, but the people who would die immediately, it doesn't go past, like, right over the
like
mountains.
where Mount Washington is, I feel like if you drop the bomb, like, right downtown or something like that, everybody, like, maybe on top of Mount Washington might get crisped up a little bit, but, like,
Anywhere else,
everybody in the South will be fine.
No, it's like radiation. It's like
Oh,
up
yeah, I didn't
until
think about
up
that. Yeah,
until
that would
like
probably
Mount
kill
Lebanon,
everybody.
like radiation would kill you in a day. But you get down to like Washington and stuff, like they're fine. Just get.
Yeah, and that's the place where the bomb needs to be dropped.
Oh
because
my
of-
god. Oh my god. I think about that stuff all the time. Like I think about it in even just like regular day circumstances. And maybe I should, like, if I'm driving and stuff, and I drive a lot with this job, I'm almost always thinking if something happens and somebody's not paying attention, where am I going? Like, how am I getting out of this situation? Not necessarily a horrible event, but like somebody's not paying attention. And I see them not paying attention.
Right.
How am I swerving to get out of this?
I think about that stuff, but not too much. But like, shit, goddamn, there's something I was gonna say. Can't remember now. But anyways, yeah, I don't think you need to worry about it.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm
If
not
you're gonna-
actively worried.
If you're gonna like spend that much time, that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you have like a bag, like a just in case bag?
Oh no, I don't, but I should.
See, you're not really prepped.
I'm
You're
not. I'm not. I feel like that's being paranoid, though. Like, you can think about it, but if I have like a fucking first aid kit in my for like just life, like I have food tucked away in my
you
trunk.
got to carry that everywhere.
Maybe I should.
That's the problem with it though. It's like it's just like where like if Bill Gates has a cave, you got to get to that cave first.
Yeah.
If you had like a supply bag, well then you got to carry the supply bag. But what if you're going to the beach with your family? You got to carry the supply bag if you're that paranoid.
He hires somebody to carry the supply bag. Bill Gates is not.
That's true.
Bill Gates is not building a cave for him and his family and his closest friends, and then forgetting about the transportation there. He has it covered.
I wonder. He probably just has a helicopter hovering at all times,
Yes.
just in case. Be like, shit's going down. Come down. Pick me up.
Well, does the president have that? They have to.
I'm sure there's some sort of escape plan, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be.
That stuff interests me. Like bunkers under the White House.
There's be like a drone flying like really high up that you can't see, but then like shit happens, it'll just drop down and pick him up like the claw game. It'll pick his
It just
fat ass
picks him
up
up.
and just move him
He's
somewhere.
away.
Be like, no, Ivanka, there's not enough room, and it just picks him up and fucking kicks her out.
Jared Trump is operating the crane machine. Like,
Yeah,
God damn it, Jared.
Yeah, his son's there with fucking his iPhone. Like, hang on, Dad.
I'm pretty sure that's the vice president's only job. Is to
Besides,
operate the drone.
yeah,
crane.
that and to look grumpy. That's about it. I've never seen that guy smile, especially when he's
No.
around Trump. He's just like, oh, fuck this guy again. I can't believe I'm his vice
No,
president.
no. Pence is smiling when he's like persecuting homosexuals. That's really what it is.
He's
Like he's not a friendly guy.
He's like, homos. I got a red hot poker for you guys. That's right.
That's awful.
I can't believe. I think you're right to not like a certain group of people, whether other people don't think that you should or not. But I think if you're going to be like a person in that kind of a position, you kind of need to keep it under wraps.
I just think it's judging another human individual by nothing but their, by just something you shouldn't be judged for. Like, I think we talked about accountability and making choices. I think you should be judged by your actions. I don't think you should be judged by your sexual orientation or like your race.
No,
or
it
anything.
doesn't
It's
bother me because
crazy.
it's not like dudes are coming up to me and just like butt fucking beside me. Like, it just
that's a
doesn't
ludicrous
happen,
thing.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Right.
know why people are so homophobic about things because it's just like they're not doing anything
Yeah, I
beside
don't understand. I literally can't understand it. It's like they're not affecting you in any way.
No.
How does it? I mean, doesn't it feel like we should be so far past that?
Yeah, at this point in
Doesn't
like
it feel like
civilization,
it?
you
And
would
we're
think.
not.
No, I don't know. I think just everybody is always worried about me. So you see something different, then you're just like, oh, that's not me. I
Yeah.
can't like that thing.
Yeah. But isn't even that funny, too? Because that's mostly adults. And adults accuse millennials and people in their 20s and younger than that of that same exact thing. It's me. And adults and older folks have just not.
Well, they've
shouldn't say
already run
adults,
the country, so they're just like they're like, this is because of you. No, it's because of you that.
Oh,
we're
isn't that
here.
right?
Mhm.
I think millennials and this group of people today are going to be so much more successful than any other period than we've ever experienced.
I would like to hope that's the case, but as long as you have people that are trying to get ahead of the curve, like Steve Bezos,
Yeah.
yeah,
See, Amazon?
yeah, because he's just where there's kids that are coming up now that know how to use the internet in ways that we have not figured out yet, but they're already like, because I remember talking to a guy that worked for Carnegie Mellon. He's like, wait till some of these kids get the funding for the things that they want to put out. It's going
Right.
to change the world. And it's just like, yeah, these kids are probably going to be like Steve Bezos, whatever the fuck his name, Stevie. And they're just going to have all this money, and then they're going to become this evil totalitarian. I can't think of the goddamn word. And it's just, that's the way it's going to be is, nothing's going to stop Steve now. He's got too much money. And that's, I think, a lot of the problem is when people get too much money, then they can just do whatever they want. And
Yes.
And then they start changing the way the government works. Just like, look at all the corporations that now we have all this crazy litigation that you don't even know about, but like it'll affect the way businesses run like 20 years from now. It's just insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And with so much influence and power that he has too.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
I
yeah.
know if it's crazy. Like, I'm in finance. I look at this shit. Like, in the 90s, Amazon stock was like you could get it at one point in the 90s for $13. It's trading for $17.60 right
Is it?
now.
Holy shit.
I mean, it's unbelievable if you put the money in the right places. And now look how much power that guy has with the birth of really rampant internet consumption and trading. I mean, it's
The internet's, I don't know. I don't know what the hell next is that people are going to start selling, or just like I don't know. He totally changed the whole purchasing industry, because look at how many malls are they're just dying. Like the only, like malls are dying.
Century
but
3 Mall.
Yeah, but like strip malls are like, I don't know. They're still holding, just because I feel like, because anything, if you're not at like a specialty store or something like that, you're just going to kind of falter.
Yeah.
Is there any tissues here?
No, but there's toilet paper in the bathroom.
Keep talking.
I will. I'll keep it. I'll hold down the fort. Hey, thanks for listening to the Usually Wrong podcast.
Like, because I'm going to go tomorrow and buy like $100 store items, just like stuff in stocking stuffers, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I remember when I was a kid, and like, God, when we got our boom boxes. Hi, kids. You know, I don't know if you. Oh, God, 25. You might have had a boom box, like a radio with a tape cassette player.
Oh, yeah, but I did for sure.
Like,
well, it was more my parents. They had it.
But like for Christmas, we would get like cassette tapes, and be like, oh, this is awesome, but what's it for? And then you get like some batteries, and then you'd get your radio, and be like, this is the greatest thing ever. And like, because when you're a kid, you don't need all kinds of crazy shit, I don't think. But
no,
maybe people think that they do. They just want to open things.
Right. If you're a kid and you're getting toys, when I was a kid, it was more the quantity of the stuff that I had than the quality.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, right? It's like it doesn't matter if you have the best goddamn Tonka truck. If that's the only thing you got, it was an uneventful Christmas.
Yeah, that sucked. It was like, wait. Tommy down the road got 10 presents and I got 2. This is baloney. That's like, my son just had his birthday, and then my younger daughter's like, I get 10 presents for my birthday, right? It's like, get out of here. You're ridiculous.
I don't know if my cousin listens to this. I don't know. But he would. I remember one Christmas, like I wanted an Xbox. I wanted a 360 so bad. I think it was like in 7th grade. And my other cousin had an Xbox. Like, that's how I saw I wanted an Xbox. And I forget who I asked for it, but for Christmas that year, he got another Xbox, and I got cologne. He got like an updated Xbox. I'm like, unsuccessful Christmas.
This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Can I borrow your other Xbox, please? Dude, I remember getting the Super Nintendo for Christmas.
God.
I know. And I was a kid then. Christ, you might not have been born then.
I had a Super Nintendo.
I don't know. God, I feel like I got my Super Nintendo when I was like 10 or 11.
Well, I got it. I had one. I don't know if it was an older one. I know I had it before the 64 came out, because I remember the 64 coming out. I think the Super Nintendo came out in like 91. I was born in 93. And I think that was one of the first things I got when I was a kid.
Oh, my God. You were born in 93. That's so fucking insane.
Actually, I don't know. I'm going to look that up, because I never look up shit on this podcast, but Super Nintendo release.
Dude, I was really young, because I remember, God, my grandma ended up getting it for me. I don't even think I was mowing yards yet. How the hell were you, like 4 years old, and your parents are like, "Well, just get him a Super Nintendo. He's an idiot. He'll never know." It's his old tech. He doesn't know.
No, it was new. It was. It came out in 1990.
Yeah, you weren't even
God,
born.
I wasn't even born yet. Do you remember the original Game Boy?
Yes, I do.
My parents had that. My parents would sit around my grandma's house and have the Game Boy plugged in, and they would play Tetris, and they would also take turns
Your
caring
parents
for
were like my age. They're like 36. Look, we're still hip. Look at this.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it was. They were 35 and 32.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like, I still like doing fun stuff. Let's get a Game Boy. Now look at them. Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's like, I had a... God, those things were terrible, but they were
old Game Boys.
Dude, like I was sitting there thinking about this the other day. It's like I remember having like a Sega Game Gear and getting like the TV insert or whatever, and it would never pick up any goddamn stations. And I'm just like, God, you kids these days, you just don't understand what it's like, because now you just everybody has a freaking phone and you can turn on Netflix wherever the hell you want to go.
Are you concerned about that having kids yourself? Because something that really bothers me is like. I want 2 girls whenever I have kids. I've thought about this
at the same time.
Not at the same time.
That would be interesting. 2 girls at the same time, and,
I don't know,
and
that'd
then
be
have
too much,
2
I
kids,
think.
separate mothers. That would be interesting.
Oh, that'd be fun.
No,
That
it
would
would not be fun. Move to Utah.
I like Snapchat has a feature where you can take a picture, swipe left, and it immediately removes all the blemishes on your face.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that doing to like young kids and like their body image and self-esteem? Like, are you at all like concerned about that as a parent? This isn't like a gotcha podcast, but I am curious because I talk about it a lot.
I don't know. I'm more worried about them being on the phone way too much, and then instead of just going out and living life, because while it's easy to pick up your phone and watch movies and stuff, there's just so much other shit to do out there that I feel like people get trapped into. Like, Christ, I feel like time has gone so much faster just because now there's never any moment of boredom. There's never any moment of, boy, what can I do? You know, oh, now I just pick up my phone and start looking at shit instead of actually doing something. I'm more worried about them not being able to like maybe think for themselves, because I feel like a lot of the stuff growing up for them will be not force fed, but just like, hey, here's the new programming that you're going to watch for the next 8 hours because you're not going to come off of your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
And I just feel like if you're on your phone all the time, that's fine, but you're just not maybe doing anything.
Yeah.
Because you need that boredom. Because I feel like that's where stand-up kind of came for me. It was like, we were almost on the cusp of having an iPhone. I think there was an iPhone maybe on like AT&T at the time, but like I still had that BlackBerry,
AT&T.
you know, trying to scroll through the internet on that stupid thing. And, you know, there was still that era of, oh, what am I going to do? You didn't just pick up your phone and start looking at it. You were like, maybe I'll pick up the city paper and see what's going on.
Yeah. But you said it, I've heard other people say it. I know I've heard Pete Holmes say it, but there's a quality to boredom that I really miss. I'm never bored anymore. If I'm sitting at a doctor's office in the waiting room and I have like 2 minutes to spare, I'm going to get on my phone and just putz around for 2 minutes. And I think that's damaging to you and I who are trying to create art in stand-up. When I was a kid, I would make these like videos with my friends. Like we made like 20 hours of videos. And that was really before I had a cell phone. Like I learned Final Cut. I learned After Effects. I learned a lot of stuff because of genuine boredom and not and having time to do things. When I spend too much time on Twitter and Instagram, I don't feel like I have my own thoughts anymore. And that's a scary
you're just
thing
reading
to me.
all the shit that Facebook or Twitter feels like, oh, this is a good thing that he'll like to look at and keep him on. Because that's one thing I hate about like Facebook and Twitter is like Facebook, at least you can like maybe go to the thing and find like all the new posts and stuff that people are posting. But for the most part, if you just open it up and start scrolling, that's all some fucking algorithm that they're decided that these are the things that you're going to like to look at.
This is what you care about.
Yeah. And what the hell is it? I forget what the hell I read. Something about like people don't make their own decisions for the things that they're reading. It's just all given to them now. You know what I mean? Just even like news articles, like with Google News, it's kind of annoying because now the only articles I get are all bias articles from like Democrat people that write them instead of hearing the other side. Not that I want to fucking read Republican.
I understand,
articles, but you know what I mean. It's all catered to you now.
I just get Morning Joe advertisements all the time, like for that MSNBC show, because I really like it and I listen to it, and I that's the only ads I really get for anything.
Yeah, and it's in your browser history, so then they're like, oh, we'll just keep throwing them.
Yeah,
this stuff.
He likes that, and it's not going away. That's the only thing.
It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse. Why wouldn't it? If they're making money off of selling you this stuff, not to mention Facebook and Twitter, it just feels like everything is a mic drop. I've been working on a bit about it. Every single tweet I read can just be followed by a GIF of somebody dropping a microphone. That's every single one, and that's the only thing that I want to tweet as well. Just some unbelievably sound point in 280 characters, or this amazing joke, and then I'm going to drop the mic. There's no room for real thought anymore.
Well, you should do that and then just quit. Just quit Twitter. Just be like,
I would love to do that.
see, I have a Twitter account. I never use a goddamn thing. What I use it for is complaining to corporations.
Oh, that's perfect though. You get so much free shit. You get so much free shit.
No, I don't get free shit. I just
You
get
don't?
annoyed. See, I get
Oh, so
annoyed
you're not
at
taking
stuff and then
advantage
just
of it then.
yeah. Well, I'm just probably not doing it right.
You're not.
Oh no, I don't know. I try to delete all my tweets every now and again
Do you?
because I literally just use it to complain to corporations.
Well, then you're not taking advantage of it. My girlfriend and I were at Dunkin' Donuts, and they horrendously messed up our order, and they were late with it, and we had to go. And we sent them an email, and they were like, nothing like bad, just like, hey, somebody should be fired immediately. No, but we were like, this is bad. And they gave us 2 free drink coupons. And
Yeah,
could do
but
that
you know what? The
anywhere.
way this is.
Nobody got fired for it.
Yeah, but
Well, I
nobody
don't
should
know
get
that.
fired. Look at it this way. What are you complaining about? You got the wrong fucking donut. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right,
Everybody
that's
wants
fair.
to complain about every like minute thing. It's like, so you got the wrong donut.
So you got to start
Do
complaining more,
you
man.
need to complain about that? Yeah, you're
You know what you need to
upset.
do? You need to start
You're
blaming.
upset. Does that necessitate you going out? I'm gonna write this long fucking email because some asshole who probably makes minimum wage and is a goddamn high schooler or whatever. You're like, fuck this loser. I can't believe that they fucked anything up. They have no life experience. But I'm gonna just fucking shit on them in this email. I'm gonna get them fired.
Listen, let me defend myself. I am not posting a Facebook. I'm not on Twitter just sending a message to Kelly from Dunkin' Donuts that
Like,
she
hey,
fucked
Kelly,
up my
you
order. I'm going straight to the CEO and every HR rep in that company and saying, Kelly is a nice person, but she messed up. I'd like free shit from your company.
And they do. They will give you a free cup
And they
of
will.
coffee.
And it's amazing. What was it? I got this a couple years ago. I got this like credit card. It was just like, it was one that it wasn't a credit card itself. It like held all of your card information. So you could like press a little button on it. I saw them advertise all the
I
time.
think I've seen that.
Have you
before.
seen it? It was like a couple years ago, and I waited like a year and a half for it to send to me because it was like in beta. I paid them $50.
Oh, God.
And then it didn't come for a little. I swear to God, a year and a half. It's called Coin @Coin on Twitter, and it was really cool, but it was outdated when I got it because that's when the Apple Pay came out. And it's like it didn't even work anymore. It's all Apple Pay stuff.
That's fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know.
And they
Like,
sent me my money back.
did you send it back? Did you ask for?
Yes,
your...
I asked for the refund because it was like in beta and they had like a limited amount of them. Like, why the fuck would I?
Yeah, you're gonna
keep
wait.
this.
See, this is one annoying thing though. Is like I'm ready to get rid of all my credit cards and shit.
Really?
I don't even like carrying a wallet, just because it's a pain in the ass. Like I would
You want a
prefer to
money
just
clip.
No, I just want to have my phone and fucking put it next to a cash register and then just
But
move along.
that's what we're going to, right?
Yeah, it'll be there eventually, and like it'll be there for the most part until you go out into like the country areas where
Yeah.
you know, because those businesses don't make all the money that you know like these McDonald's and shit do, and you know when you take 3.75% from every transaction from some guy that's just scraping by to make that's a
Yeah.
lot of fucking money. He's like, no, I take cash.
Yeah, and that's fair. I complain a lot whenever I go to the Midwest, like real Midwest, and they don't have at least a Square machine or something that charges like
exactly.
a 1% fee.
Go like 2 hours north of Pittsburgh. It's exactly like that.
Exactly. Well, I use the excuse all the time. I'm like, it's 2018. Everybody should take cards at this point. But that's me calling me on my own shit. Like I don't take into consideration that hey, these people could be struggling.
Yeah.
And what's it to me? Like if I have cash.
Oh my God! You're inconveniencing me to make a living.
I'll go next
dare
door
me.
if like I'm really upset about this.
Yeah, yeah. See that's like another. I don't know. Just the fucking third world or first world
problem.
It's just like it's just I don't know. It is inconvenient because most people don't carry cash anymore. And if you do go outside of Pittsburgh, you know, you're like, oh fuck, you never know what the hell. I mean, if you're going to a restaurant or something, you know. But there's so many stupid mom and pop places that are still out there that are still just trying to scrape by and get cash
Right.
and not pay taxes. And see, that's what I was getting to is like, there's going to be a point where the government's going to be like, all right, let's get rid of cash. Because we
believe
want to
that.
know where every transaction is going. Then people can't hide money in their basements anymore. Like England, they don't even have checks anymore. I'm pretty sure.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure they got rid of checks a long time ago.
Oh, I'm gonna fact check you on that one.
I remember reading about it, but I'm pretty positive that they got rid of checks.
I like England.
I know but here's the thing: they're like Pennsylvania. That's
England?
it. That's it. It's just like this little place.
Yeah.
And that's it. We got fucking how many more people than they do? It's probably a lot
it's
harder
huge.
to
It's
wrangle all these free radical people in America to do that, as opposed to England, where they still got a queen because they're
Yeah.
idiots.
They're I think they're like 1/3 of the United States. I could be wrong about that.
I feel bad for them though. I mean, I couldn't imagine living on that island and then just like 20 years from
Yeah.
now, what are you gonna do? There's gonna be too many people. Or you're gonna have to like
That's the
build
thing,
extra
too.
island or something.
Yeah. I love England though. Like I studied abroad in London, and like plane tickets to the rest of Europe are extremely inexpensive.
Oh yeah. I went
Crazy.
to Germany for 2 months. Christ, you can take bus tours everywhere for like
Everywhere.
$20.
Everywhere. What was I gonna say? Did you know there's a? Oh, okay. This is what I was gonna say. You mentioned the Queen. Did you know the Queen actually has a good deal of power? I thought they were like the Kardashians.
Yeah, they kind of are. I mean, I feel like they have some sort of monetary sway, but for the most part, I think Parliament makes most of the decisions.
But the Queen chooses the Prime Minister.
Right, and then the
So,
Prime
yeah.
Minister makes. Yeah, the Prime Minister is like our president, right? Or something
Yes,
that.
like she's not gonna like go out of her way, but like they have this vote. It's all popular vote. It's like they have 600 districts, and like a Labor Party or a Conservative wins that district,
Right.
and then whoever has the most, the Queen's like, okay, well, I'll go with whoever had the most votes in their district,
God.
who had the most proportionally, who had the most. Like she's not gonna elect. She can pick anybody she wants, but
she
it's
goes with the popular vote.
right. Yeah.
Unless the popular vote's really bad, then she'll maybe pick somebody else.
I don't even know if they would ever do that. I think the Queen just wants to be like, I'm gonna do what I have to do, and then I'm gonna look old until I die.
See, I don't. This is my thing with elections. I feel like elections aren't real anymore. You know what I mean?
Why?
Like people vote, but I don't think it's a real vote. For the most part, with people cheating or like these. See, I get the councils have double checks and whatever, but I still feel like it's all bullshit. Like how can you really tally the millions and millions of fucking votes? It just doesn't seem plausible to me.
I don't think that's the issue. I think people are voting, and like the votes are accurate, but there's so much information now to process that if you knew all of the information that was available to you, then you can make a rational decision. I mean, look at people on the right. If they really thought about all of the accurate information that was handed to them, I think 2 to 3% of the people that voted right in 2016, I don't think would have. If you were given accurate and concise information that wasn't spread out on every site, I think you'd make better choices.
Yeah, well, I just feel like most uneducated people, when it comes to elections and stuff like that, they just don't care. They just go, I'm gonna pick my favorite because of this.
Yeah,
like
I get it.
like I think like
Both sides.
Oh, dude. Well, I remember when when I would go up to my dad's house, like 2 hours away from here, nothing but Trump signs, and it's like
Absolutely.
I was like, do you people in Pittsburgh think that Hillary's just gonna walk right fucking into the presidency? I don't think that's gonna happen. And then the election results started coming in, and I was like, oh, fucking Trump's really gonna do it. And my fiance's like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. I was
Isn't
like,
that
yeah,
crazy?
it's gonna fucking happen because you guys didn't expect everybody that just hates women, all these fucking dudes out in the middle of the country that just they're still, oh my god, it's still so bad. Like I remember, dude, I was at my dad's store working, and this guy came in, and we have a secretary, or I don't know, she's secretary. She does all kinds of shit for us. And he come in, and she was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, I don't want to talk to you. Where's a man? Pretty much is what he said. I was like,
Oh my
"What?"
God.
Yeah, it's still fucking like that. Like if you get
Yeah.
out of Pittsburgh, I bet they're still like that in Pittsburgh. But it's just there's so many misogynistic guys that are still out there that you don't realize, and then that's why I feel like Trump really won, because they just don't like women. They're like,
Yeah.
I ain't ready for a woman president.
Isn't it crazy how much women deal with that? I'll just never experience in my life. Like, I will never be catcalled in my entire life, and there are guys who go their entire life without not really realizing that. Like, I have it good. Like, I'm not gonna have to deal with so much that women have to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying that to pander or anything, but I've had that thought, and I'm writing a bit about, like, I personally literally do not know what pain is. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a cavity, and every woman in ever is going through unbearable pain once a month.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's unbearable, but I don't know. I honestly,
to me,
I
it
have
would
no
be
idea. I'm not
unbearable.
gonna speak for the whole of women, but I would like to appreciate how much shit that they've had to dredge through just because
Right.
of fucking guys. And I don't know. It's weird because, you know, it's when you take away all the social equalness and, you know, you go back to the bare bones of, you know, you don't see all the news and you're just living off the land and shit like that. Yeah, when a guy is twice the size of a woman, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fucking man laws where women are just going to have to be like, okay, because I don't want the fucking shit kicked out of me.
Right.
But, you know, nowadays, you know, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
we're
and-
evolving.
Yeah, we're evolving, and women are hopefully getting treated a lot better.
Thank God. I think there's still issues. For sure.
And there will always be. You're not going to nip them all in the butt,
Right.
unfortunately. But, you know, for the most part, I think things are moving in the right direction for them.
Right.
I would hope.
You know what we need in life is two straight guys talking about women issues. More.
You know what? We need more
I
of
don't
this.
think we don't have. I don't think we have enough.
We just need more straight white guys in general, just to, you know, make sure everything's going according to plan, that everybody else's plans are going great. I don't know. No, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, but, like, at least there's a couple heterosexual guys going, yeah, we get it. We
there
understand.
should be more. I'm
But I'm
joking
not
around
gonna,
that,
yeah, but I'm not gonna be like this super over the top feminist guy. You know,
Sure.
I'm sorry. You know, guys still got to get ours. We still got to get something. There's still got to be something left for
It's
us.
just a matter of, like, equality. Like, I think that's all it is.
I don't know. As long as they're wearing heels, I think this shit's gonna be okay.
As long as they're wearing heels.
Yeah, because as soon as they start working, putting the boots on and doing all the guy work, then things are going to suck, because then guys won't have that, yeah, I go and I fucking work 80 hours a week fucking drilling oil for women. Because, you know, that's the only reason anything ever happens. Like, imagine if women like start taking over all these crazy, like, skyscrapers weren't invented by fucking women. They weren't, well, maybe they helped build
I have
or
no
whatever.
idea.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a man's world. It really is. It's fucking everything is, but everything that a man's ever made is to probably impress some chick somewhere.
But aren't we getting, like, past that? Like, aren't we getting to the? But we're at the point that women can.
Yeah, and they can make
Thankfully
things.
do-
Well, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying is, like, once the women start making all kinds of shit, well, guys are just going to be like, well, fuck them. They don't need us anymore.
My girlfriend and I talk about sometimes that, like, women at some point are just not going to need men. Like, once they scientifically find out how to reproduce on their own, they'll just be like, why do we need
Well, they
men?
can already kind of do that. I mean, there's sperm banks everywhere. I mean, guys will willfully donate their usefulness to a bank for, like, what, $30? I don't fucking know how much you
I
get
have no idea.
for that shit, but they technically they don't need us yet. Still, or now.
Do you think? What do you want to do comedy wise? Are there goals that you have for yourself?
I just want to get to an hour. Anything beyond that, I don't know. I've been thinking about that recently. Is like where am I going? Because I do feel like I'm kind of aimlessly just still doing this. I don't know what the hell I want. Do I want to do this for a living, or do I just want to do it just because I like to do it?
Yeah,
I don't know yet.
that's freeing.
I
It's
don't
like
know
a
yet.
freeing thing. If you say, okay, I'd like to get an hour, but I don't have to do X, Y, and Z. Like that, I don't perform well under stress. And if I set long-term goals for myself that aren't like on a monthly basis, I get creeped out.
Yeah, you get real stressed out. I'm not hitting this goal. I'm not hitting that goal.
Why am I here?
Yeah, I don't know. I just go with the flow, I guess. And whatever happens, happens. I don't know. I get there's really ambitious people out there. I'm just not one of them.
I love it. I love it so much.
Whatever happens, happens. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. It comes down with me just having my kids. You know, if I was maybe in a better financial position where I could just be like, you know, I don't really need to work 40 hours a week, then maybe I would pursue it a little bit more. But like right now, I have to work because if I don't, then I lose my house and the kids. Well, the kids won't go hungry. The state ain't gonna let them starve, right? But that's where where I go back to like if I was like you, where I could just fucking be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go to fucking St. Louis for the weekend. You know,
Right.
You can. Yeah, and I
right.
can't. Like, and I would like to do some festivals or whatever, but that again, I think they at least pay you to go to the festivals.
No, I think you pay with most festivals.
Some things maybe, but at
Is
least
that
they
true?
put you up in a place. Because, like, for me, the biggest thing is I don't want to go anywhere where I'm just gonna fucking lose money on the deal. If I can break even going and doing stand up in other places, that's fine. But at this point in my life, I can't just be like, all right, well, I'm going to drop $200 every weekend or $300 because I'm going to go get a hotel and make $50 fucking hosting something in 3 states over. It's not worth it.
I get it.
But like if I was like you, fuck it. It's I don't know that. Like Chris Scriva, he does a lot of shit like that where, he can just pick up and fucking go places and meet new people and make new connections. I was like, dude, you should be doing that all the time. That's a great fucking idea because it's more who you know, I think, in stand-up. I
think so. I think there's part of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. It's who you fucking know that'll, like, how have you ever gotten jobs? It's probably people that you know, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, your dad.
I knew my dad.
Yeah, you knew your dad for like at least 3 or 4 years,
Before
and then
I started,
Yeah, before you
weren't
started.
close, but like I knew him. He was like a peer of mine.
He's always giving you like this advice,
Yeah.
taking you places.
Well, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and then you somehow you're like, hey, what about a job? Anywhere I can work? Hey, we're playing footsie.
I'm sorry.
But like and that's the way stand up kind of works is where you'll know a lot of people, and then I don't know. You still have to be funny regardless. I mean,
that's it.
But having to know, having people that you know in other places, that's the only way you're going to fucking move around. I don't know. I just need to. Do you need kids? This is what I'm trying to say. Anybody?
Do I need kids?
Yeah.
I'll put a Craigslist ad for your kids.
Put it with your fucking podcast gear.
Oh my god. That's it, man. How do you feel? We have a couple more things, but hey, thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. We're at an hour 10.
Oh wow.
If you can believe it. This goes fast. Okay, so this is the last question I have for you. So let me make sure everything's good here. I hear a buzz. Okay, hope you don't hear a buzz. Okay, so I started dating this girl, Monica, probably about 8 months ago. I ask all the guests at the end this question.
Okay.
Her friends asked me this question at right before we started dating, kind of like to probe me, be like, is Nate a good guy or a scumbag? Get a good feel for who I was. So I'm going to ask you this question.
Oh, great.
So, Ron, you're at a bar. Night is going very bad. The bartender turns out, and you'll never believe this, is a Nazi. Nobody knew it. Yes. He's poisoned many drinks just coming out. There's quicksand in the back of the bar. It's swallowed up pool tables. Unfortunately, some Asian people are gone. It's a bad night. Fire everywhere. But it's also karaoke night. And it is your job, Ron Renwick, to save the entire night. What song are you singing?
Fuck. Probably something by Kid Rock.
Why?
Why? Because he's the only fucking person I listen to.
Is that true?
Yeah, unfortunately. I get a lot of shit for that.
Why? I don't know any Kid Rock.
You're like, why do you listen to Kid Rock?
I guess I don't
or
know
why
what
do
I'm
you
asking
get
why
shit
for.
I don't know. People just don't like him. I think he's great. I would probably sing like Only God Knows Why, and then as everybody's burning and shit, and be like, yeah, well, that was a kind of a sensible song, right?
It was kind of I love it. I love it. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I don't know. You can go to my website. There's dates on there, and
Is it ronrenwick.com?
yes, and then me and Matt Parsons are putting together a comedy show at Redbeard's on Mount Washington once a month, so keep your eye out for that. We already have the first couple months booked, but hopefully it'll go well, and it's going to be a monthly show. Once a month. We don't have like a set date. Like it's not going to be like every third Thursday. It's going to be a weekend show. So keep
Is it a mic or?
No, it's like a real show.
Just a showcase, okay.
Yeah, the first show, I'm not even on it. It's just going to be, who the hell's on it? Matt Parsons. Izzy for real. God, Izzy, change that goddamn name. And Joey Welsh and Mike Travers is going to headline it. So
That's great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
awesome. You get to sign us off. You get to say anything you'd like. You can. I've had people swear at me. I've had people say inspirational things. Phil Forens, for instance, said fish sticks, eat them. You could say whatever you'd like. Give the people something good.
Give them something good.
I have data that shows people listen to the end.
Don't get stabbed. It's not a good time.
Don't get stabbed. It's not a good time.
Yeah, I've been stabbed a whole bunch of times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to end this. Have you really?
Yeah, 8 times.
Oh,
8 or
my
9.
God, really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been stabbed a lot. Well,
From what?
once.
One time?
One time. 8 times in one sitting.
Oh, God, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I think it'd be crazy that I was stabbed 8 times in one sitting or 8 times in 8.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That would be.
That's a tough one.
After the second or third time, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, there's something magnetic that's pulling somebody to.
See, now we're just gonna leave it like this, and then people will be like, "Fuck, you got to get Ron back on."
Oh,
so
that's
we can hear
fun.
about
I
his
like
stab
that a
story.
lot. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Would you die for